God was with Canada.
This is SportsCenter.
Rivalries rekindled.
Tavares backhand towards the goal. Loose puck. Everybody scores! Tie game! Can you believe it?
Team Canada meets Russia with a berth in the gold medal game on the line. Recharging another rivalry, the Colts look for revenge against the Chargers as Wild Card Weekend gets underway. Not to be outdone, the Leafs and Sens battle in the Northeast basements. The Flames go for their 5th win in a row, while the Oilers and Stars renew hostilities at Rexall. And he's not a kid anymore.
Oh my, what a fight by Crosby!
Sidney Crosby takes matters into his own hands to try spark the struggling Pens. It's a wild weekend, all right, both in the NFL and at the World Junior Hockey Championship. Time for SportsCenter, where we wrap you right up. I'm Brian. That is Holly. We begin with the World Junior Hockey Championship. That Canada-USA game, simply outstanding. We didn't think it could get better. It did get better against Russia, though, in this contest.
You always worry that teams who have such an easy time early on in the round robin are going to be blindsided by tougher opponents. It was not that way with the U.S., and it is not that way with Russia. Canada coming off arguably one of the greatest games in World Junior history. Dustin Tokarski getting his start in net. Just over 2 minutes in, Stefan Delarovere and Evander Kane do good work down low. Brett Sonne in front, he scores. Becomes the 15th different Canadian to score a goal this tournament. It's 1-0. 3 minutes later, Alex Pietrangelo blows a tire. Maxim Goncharov breaks in and goes upstairs. Russia quickly answers back. We are tied at 1. Canadians stick to their hard work on the forecheck. Kane, once again, battling down low, gets it in front to Patrice Cormier. He gets his first to the tourney. It's 2-1 Canada, but these Russians aren't going to fold. 16 seconds later, Dmitry Klopov bangs in the Tokarski rebound. So while the Canadian goal is being announced, the Russians tie it back up, and we've got a battle going after 20 minutes. Second period, Chris DiDomenico gets high stick by Maxim Chudinov. He gets 2 minutes. Canada 0 for 5 with the man advantage to that point, but she knew it wouldn't last.
Back for Hodgson. Hodgson walks in. He shoots. It goes off a leg. Drops down. Eberle shoots. Score!
Jordan Eberle fires it off Dmitry Kulikov's skate and in. He's got his third. And remember the dust-up the Canadians had along the bench with the Americans? There was no way the refs were going to let that happen again. It's 3-2 Canada after 2, just 51 seconds into the third. Myers turns over the puck in the neutral zone. Evgeny Brachev beats Tokarski 5-hole. 3 goals on 16 shots. This game is tied at 3. Later, Delarovere, whose style of play is always on the edge, cross-checks his man to the head, gets 2 minutes, and on that Russian power play.
Pass kick ahead. Here's Sonny. Feeds out ahead for Esposito. Angelo Esposito. Short-handed. Score!
First short-handed goal of the tournament for Canada. They retake the lead for the 4th time. Right after that shorty, PK Subban gets a tripping penalty. That puts the Russians on a 5-on-3 where Sergei Andronov bangs it in. Canada in the middle of another epic battle, this time with the Russians. It is 4-all. And with over 2 minutes to go in the game, Klopov at the side of the net jams it past Tokarski. Russians are leading 5-4 late in this game.
Last touch, and the Russians lead for the first time. This time, Canada is teetering on the brink.
Under a minute to go. Canada pushing for the equalizer. The puck comes in front. Klopov gains control, fires it at the empty net. But not only does he miss, but the Russians get called for icing. If it had just gone through the blue paint, the icing would have been waved off. Instead, Canada gets the puck in the Russian zone, needing to score to keep their gold medal dreams alive.
Boychuk looking for it. Tavares pulls it out. Tavares backhand towards the goal. Loose puck. Everybody scores! Believe it!
We could barely believe it. 5.4 seconds left. Eberle scores the biggest goal of his life. And just when you thought this game couldn't get better than the American game, we're off to sudden death overtime. We're over 30 seconds in. Eberle, golden chance at the side of the net, cannot convert. Then Subban comes streaking in. His shot goes through the crease and stays out.
And this game is going to a shootout to determine who goes to the gold medal game.
Well, you could probably figure out who the first shooter would be. Jordan Eberle, the man who scored the tying goal in the dying seconds. He comes through again. Another great move. Look at those hands. Canada leads 1-0. Russia's first shooter, Dmitry Kugashev. He'll hit the post. Next up for Canada, the best player in the tournament, John Tavares. Beautiful move. Puts Canada up 2-0, meaning Russia needs to score to keep their gold medal hopes alive.
Cherna in on Tokarski. Stop! Canada wins! Canada's going to the gold medal game!
There is still a drive for 5. Canada wins an incredible game, defeating the Russians in dramatic fashion. They will go on for their 5th straight gold on Monday. And they will play Sweden for that gold medal for the 2nd time in as many years and for the 3rd time since 1996. With the victory, Canada now assures itself of a medal for the 11th straight World Junior Tournament. Let's send it back to Ottawa, and here's James Duthie.
Thank you. First the Classic on New Year's Eve, and now this. The gold medal game has a near impossible act to follow. All we will remember years from now is the Jordan Eberle miracle goal and perhaps some of the shootout. What we will forget is this game saw Canada take 4 leads, lose them all, fall behind, and then somehow survive in the most miraculous of ways. James Cybulski has more.
In Canada's last 2 World Junior gold medal runs, they needed to pass the ultimate tests of adversity to win. And Saturday night in Ottawa, Canada prevailed in an emotional shootout win, with Jordan Eberle paving the way to a spot in Monday's gold medal showdown.
We didn't give up all throughout the game. It seemed like we'd score a goal and then they'd reply right back and take the momentum. So it just kind of goes to show the Canadian heart, and we kept battling back.
It's just what this tournament's all about. It's really how special these moments are and how dramatic they can be, and the intensity and the emotion that goes through everyone.
It's definitely something that you remember. I mean, the look on Jordan Eberle's face when he scored that goal, I mean, being the first guy to him, that look on his face will be instilled in my brain for the rest of my life.
It's unbelievable, and maybe like God was with Canada.
Dustin Tokarski put the onus on himself after Russia went ahead 5-4 late in the 3rd, but once again, when it mattered most, he shut the door in the shootout.
I said to myself, I gotta do something for them here. They let me off the hook by getting their one at the end, and it's just what kind of guys they are. Once again, I said it before, but we got a character group of guys in there.
There's a couple that I wasn't comfortable with, and I'm certain that he's not comfortable with, and I don't know how many good goals there were tonight. I mean, there was lots of action, but there wasn't a whole lot of art in some of the goals that were scored tonight.
He's a key player. We can fall back on him. I know every defenseman on our team has trust in him to make that big save, and tonight he showed that in the shootout. I thought he was great, and hopefully he can play one more phenomenal game for us and win the gold.
The goals that went in on him today, I mean, some of them he couldn't really do much, but he definitely shut the door when he had to in a big way.
It was an interesting ride to get the win as Canada's mighty power play went missing in action on Saturday night, just going 1 for 9 with the man advantage. Nevertheless, the rematch from last year's gold medal final is set. Canada-Sweden, featuring the 2 biggest reasons NHL general managers and scouts have gathered here to see Victor Hedman and John Tavares. James Cybulski, TSN.
All right, back with Bob McKenzie. Jordan Eberle. The name instantly becomes part of Canadian hockey lore. One of the most dramatic goals, certainly in the history of the World Junior Hockey Championship, especially for Canada. He's the hero, but the heroics were spread around on that play. When you can do something like that with 5 seconds left, give us the anatomy of that goal.
Well, Canada deserves full credit for coming back, but let's be honest, the Russians, this was a self-inflicted wound that proved to be fatal. They were doing a good job of holding Canada at bay in the final minute when Dmitry Klopov got the puck. Basically had all sorts of time and space to make a play and get it back down the ice, but instead tried to fire it at the empty net. The icing is called. Canada comes back, wins the faceoff, gets control. Ryan Ellis, great job to keep it in at the blue line. John Tavares, an absolute puck hawk, gets on top of it, throws it to the net. Kulikov of the Drummondville Voltigeurs can't hold on to it, and Eberle becomes an instant hero. He already had, he got the 2 goals in this game, the same as he got 2 goals in the under-18 gold medal game last spring for head coach Pat Quinn, and sent this one to overtime. Absolutely remarkable, but I'm sure the Russians will have a tough time reconciling this one. They fought so hard to come back so many times, and then had the game secured and gave it away.
We live in an age where we just remember brief highlights or things posted on YouTube, and the Eberle goal will be that years from now from this game. But the game itself, I think, belongs in the great Canada-Russia games of all time. I always count on you for perspective. Give us some.
Well, there's an ugly